So one of the things that I tried doing with my son was in realizing that there's a lot going on inside. And I mean, we all can relate to this. There's a lot going on inside. And unless we are given the specific words for the specific things that we feel and the specific things that we perceive, there can be a lot of miscommunication happening. There's some people who do miscommunication on purpose, but there's a lot of people who are lacking the right words to express exactly how they feel and exactly what they're feeling to truly get understood. You can see it a lot in men sometimes when they try to express their emotions and they lack the words for it because, most men are not given the opportunity to be educated emotionally on how they feel. So they can't exactly express, why they feel what they feel. With my son, knowing that speaking was a challenge for him, I decided that I was going to try and go in a different direction, try and go around speech. Communication is something that we see in all animals. We see and hear dogs barking. Like there will be a dog barking here in your yard or next door, and then you'll hear in the distance another dog is barking, and then your dog starts barking, and then the other dog starts barking. And if you really pay attention, there's a conversation going on between the two animals. Now, we don't understand their language, but what happens is that we try to force them to understand our language, and we never really think about it the other way around. Like I had a discussion with my lady the other day, and she has a name for her dog. She has a name for her cat. And every time, I see her interact with them and I interact with the animals, I asked her, don't you think that maybe it's possible that your animals also have a name for you? Like, you say stuff to them and they respond. They bark, they make their noise, they meow. But perhaps they have a specific meow to say something specific, or a specific bark to say something specific, and it's really geared towards you. Think about that. We think that we're teaching the animals how to speak, forgetting that the animals have their own language. Now, I only bring that up to express how ignorant we really can be as humans. And we think that the best way of communication is always verbiage. And sometimes it can get a little bit too complex. Sometimes we talk way more than necessary. And in a lot of cases, some people talk too much and make a whole conversation convoluted on purpose. So sometimes animals, you'll see that they kind of keep it very simple. Touch is a very important aspect of communication. And one of the things that I tried to understand was that my son is a touchy kind of kid. He likes to interact with things. He likes to touch things, and most times to his detriment. But this is how he communicates stuff. I mean, when you think about it in general, you don't want to interact with things. And you won't touch them. You will not let them close to you. In fact, you have different levels in which you would let certain things close to you. Your personal space has different levels. And whoever you like more, they come closer to you. And whoever you don't like as much can stand off over there. I found that touch was one of the things that's very important to my son. So, hugging him a lot, playing, roughhousing. He's a boy. Good for him and good for me. I like to watch my WWE, so, when homeboy wants to get to hurting, somebody's going to get themselves a suplex. And we developed a very good relationship with play wrestling, play fighting. We do a lot of gymnastics together, and we do a lot of swimming. This creates a good bond between him and I. And with that bond, I use that time with him to, try and get his energies burnt off, try and get him to understand how to calm down and stuff. And I use those interactive times to really help understand a little bit more about him and his needs. What is it that he's trying to tell me? What is it that his body really needs? What it is that his mind needs? And I think that's one of the more important things. The mind doesn't need information all the time. Sometimes the mind just needs to be active and it needs to do things. Most oftentimes we think that the best thing to do is to sit down behind the computer, sit down behind a book and read, or, work down whatever, just sitting down all the time. But true learning comes from experience. And when we sit down and study our children like this, and we study ourselves and we look at other people as well, when you really throw your whole being into something, there's a true experience that happens. Intuition starts to happen. It starts to develop. Because although somebody knows how to bake a cake, or somebody knows how to bounce or dribble a basketball, it is the inner tuition that actually goes in and starts making those little tweaks and starts making you study. I need to add more velocity here. I need to put my hand further out there. I need to add more sugar. I need to add less sugar. Intuition is a great thing, and it is something that must be developed in our children, in ourselves. And I think that one of the things that I tried to do is I tried to get a little bit more intuitive with him. And these were the things that I tried. They helped me. But this was kind of only the first step.